If you have watched anime for a long time, you might know that anime titles are getting longer. Some examples being, do you love your mom and her 2-hit multi-target attacks? Is it wrong to try to pick up girls in a dungeon? And even, what do you do at the end of the world? Are you busy? Will you save us? And more importantly, why do the anime companies lose their grip on choosing titles? Well, that's because most anime companies like to track their viewers like this, as well as including the main idea in the title. On the contrary, some viewers will ignore anime with common titles, or lesser known ones as well. Therefore, the anime I want to recommend to you is Lost in Space. Wait, not this one. This one. Lost in Space. Wait, that's not it. Where the hell is it? No, fine. Astra Lost in Space. The reason this anime did not get much views was probably because of its generic title, and the first few episodes did not get much attention as well. If this were to be a light novel, I'd suggest some titles to be, Is it wrong to try to pick up girls lost in space? Or maybe even, My adversary is my father-in-law. Or it could even go for, Do you love your father and his multi-hit wormhole triggers? Now these titles will definitely attract more people than Lost in Space. This anime literally surpassed my expectations. The awe I got was similar to when I watched The Promised Neverland. Both these shows contain foreshadowing, and slowly, the foreshadowing is unveiled to the audience. Not to mention, in the first few episodes, there are a lot of plot holes. Now, for the setting in this anime, it's in the far future where space travel has become possible and commercially viable. The story begins with our main character Aries travels to another planet with her classmates as part of a field trip. And every character seems to be a problem child. A narcissistic antisocial prick, a person who's hard to know his, her, whatever their gender, a genius, the main character of Shonen Jump magazines, a tsundere, a lolly, a girl with depression, and a freaking seagull. Are you guys entering Hope's Peak Academy or something? But while on a planet, they accidentally come across a wormhole which sucks them up and throws them into space. And they accidentally come across a spaceship in space. And accidentally, they find out the communication system is damaged. And accidentally, the members of this team know survival knowledge. And their main goal is to go back to their mother planet. This is pretty much the anime version of Interstellar and Salute 7. After this, the group decides to nominate a captain who can unite them together. Then the captain chooses to announce his plan.
まあ五分五分だろう。でも進まなきゃ死ぬだけだ。道があるんなら進もう。サバイバルの心得その1。前に進めば前進する。
Wait, why do I feel a sense of deja vu? I swear I heard this somewhere before.
ミカ、やっとわかったんだ。俺たちにはたどり着く場所なんていらねえ。ただ進み続けるだけでいい。止まんねえ限り。 道は続くまあ五分五分だろうでも進まなきゃ死ぬだけだ道があるんなら進もうサバイバルの心得その1前に進めば前進する
Oh! That's right, now I know. At the end of the first episode, they realize that someone deliberately broke the ship's communication system. God damn it, this means that they have a culprit within their group. Oh, I know. This is just pretty much like survival vision, Mission Impossible. While the first feeling of the episode is fine, it wasn't as exaggerated as other people told me. And also, the artists of this anime should really learn some geography. He even drew the Earth wrong. And are you sure these characters are lost in space? They have a better life than I do. This is the space version of the anime, Are You Lost, huh? But thankfully, I finished watching the anime. One word to describe this anime is... awesome. No sarcasm intended. Now, allow me to include a slight spoiler warning to tell you about this anime, and its advantages and disadvantages. Every episode in this anime will have a mini climax, and the climaxes are usually towards the end of the episode. Ah yes, very smart people, using climaxes to attract viewers to click on the next episode. They got me there. And the accidents I mentioned before? Well, it's a foreshadowing of what's to come in the future. Man, I must say, every detail in this anime is worth analyzing. Several turning points in the plot make the audience very hard to guess what will come next. And even if you do know what will come next, well, it'll probably make you tense and anxious for the next turning point anyways. The natural factor, the human factor, and the so-called plot hole all make the plot of the anime way over my imagination, and is also properly logical. The information you can get from this anime is limited, as well as the slight character expressions that can convey certain themes. Not to mention the tense, blood-boiling BGM, long scene shots. Man, these factors really make the environment of the anime very attractive to watch. In recent years, only a few anime can give me this same feeling. I also want to mention the screen proportion in this anime. Sometimes the screen proportion will change with the plot, For instance, when the plot thickens, the screen proportions shrink a little. The anime's intention of creating a theatrical version is done by adding a widescreen black belt to the upper and lower parts of the screen. Sometimes there are no black bands that express the shooting effect of different scenes. In order to reflect the characteristics of the climate, temperature, and humidity of each planet, different filters are set in the scenes. Also, in certain episodes, the anime will delete the OPs and EDs for increasing the audience's empathy levels. And by the way, the first and last episodes are around 40 minutes, so it's kinda like watching a movie. Alright, if I keep talking about the main storyline, I'll definitely spoil some really important things. So, let's talk about the minor storylines then. But actually, it's because this video is shorter than 10 minutes, so I'm trying to find something to talk about. If the main storyline is to search for the culprit and going back to the mother planet, then the minor line will probably be the emotion changes of each character, as well as their relationship changes. Remember when I said every character has certain problems? Well, in this anime, they even explain why each character has these certain problems. They all have different family situations and emotions. They're not just empty characters, they have their own personalities. The characters, from strangers to familiar companions, from hating one another to liking one another. And for the guys out there, I found out that the only way to beat a tsundere is just to be a straightforward man. Go get him, guys. Kitari, from the beginning, just ignores everyone and doesn't want to get close to others. To become a nurse though, she requires having a close relationship with their patients. As for her younger sister, although she didn't do anything important, the best thing for her to do was to not give any other members trouble, and she 100% achieved this. Unlike some other characters, if this was a regular child, whew, god dang it. Her existence helped the group solve their biggest problem. If you want to know what kind of problem a 6-year-old kid can solve, you should just go ahead and read the manga or watch the anime. I also want to mention how the minor storylines are just as good as the main storylines. Sometimes I even forget that they're lost in space when they're playing on the beach. And every time I think this is a peaceful slice of life anime, the main storyline comes out of nowhere and slaps me in the face. However, the character design is very great. Every character has their own tasks that they need to do, and their background stories are well explained, which makes the characters more full. But sometimes the anime producers want to show how smart Ares is by reducing the IQ of the other characters. Why are some simple, logical ideas the audience can think of a 200 IQ person couldn't figure out? Come on, Zach. 200 IQ, what's going on, man? And maybe the anime wants to move the storyline very quickly, because in episode 9 or 10, when they figure out the big conspiracy behind their lives, nobody ever doubts their reasoning, and everyone just seems to accept this as a result. Anyways, this won't impact the whole story because it's just that good of an anime. This anime includes many factors and themes, including self-reflection on war, utopia and dystopia, and how they survive in space, even though they have a better life than I do, as well as showing some problems to the human race. One sentence to conclude: time to watch the anime again. See you guys. Bye bye, everybody. Goodbye.